Right, good evening watchers, and welcome to another film review tonight. Oh, actually double tonight. But actually what I'm going to do is review both films, of course. They're both craft films, so I've been watching the first one tonight. The Craft. Love that image, by the way. Ladies in the cover. Been watching this tonight. I've seen it before. It's a 1996 film. A really good film, by the way. A really good film. Starring Firuza Balk, Robin Tunney, Neve Campbell and Rachel True. Directed by Andrew Fleming. Some names are actually easy to actually say. Released in 1996, May the 3rd, 101 minutes, United States. A budget of 15 million. Still a lot of money, but it made 55.6 million at box office, which is pretty good, I'd say. It's a good movie though. So anyway, the plot, I'm not going to read the whole plot. Sarah Bailey, a beautiful but troubled teenage girl with unusual abilities, has moved from San Francisco to Los Angeles with her father and stepmother. At a new school, she forms a friendship with a group of girls who are considered outcasts as, for one reason or another viewed to be witches. Bonnie Harper bears burn scars from auto accident. Nancy Down lives in a trailer with her mother, an abusive stepfather. Rachel Zimmerman is African American and subjected to racist bullying by a group of proper white girls. Okay, the girls all worship a powerful deity they call Manon. So anyway, really good film, by the way. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna watch the second one another time and do a review of that. So put them both together. I've got both reviews. So anyway, it's a 1996 film, and so anyway, in this film, right, Neve Campbell's character, she has like scars on the back. Finger's character, I don't know, the one with his shots a lot, was a bit crazy. She lives with her mother and abusive, like I said, abusive stepfather, of course. Not a nice guy. And the other one was the black girl was like getting bullied by his like blonde girl. Of course, they get their revenge later on in the film by getting powers and stuff, which I think is really cool. So no, they get their own back later on in the film. Each of the characters. There's one character who is actually on Scream. I can't remember his name was though. It's on Scream and he's like dating Finger's character, Neve Campbell's character on Scream, the first one. And he's in this, and they're both in together, which is cool. And of course, he likes this other girl. Of course, they cast a spell on him for him to fall in love with her. And of course, then it starts to get worse later on in the film. It literally gets a bit more obsessive, of course. And I like the way they did that. I thought that was really well done, with the power started to backfire on them later on in the film. Some of the effects are good. Some of the effects are pretty good still, I'd say. So it's like I think it's a bit of a cult classic now. This is. I really like it. It's a good film. It's one of the movies that it's you know, it's one of the films that you do enjoy. It's fun. So anyway, Finger's character, the main actress who plays the main kind of like character, she moves to the school, of course. She meets his friends, these girls who are, she has these powers, and they, something special about her, of course. Then they end up getting these. So anyway, they end up having all these powers, of course, and of course the other characters become more corrupt later on. They go like Finger's character, Neve Campbell. She becomes more corrupted later on, like more narcissistic, because she's a little bit shy at first. Then they do some powers, they do some like magic on her back fingers, and then the scars go. The burnt skin. She has like real burnt back. Then it goes. First of all, she's having these like test like experiment done on her back. Then it all kind of like works, but it's not really them. It's the powers that actually does the finger. And then she comes back to school freaking confident, looking absolutely gorgeous. Neve Campbell, I show more flesh and some of the guys are like kind of going, oh my god, before they weren't that interested, then all of a sudden like, oh la la. Neve Campbell looks great. I've always liked Neve Campbell. She's just great, good actress, and at the same time easy on the eye. But yeah, but the problem is she becomes like more not very nice, the starts to corrupt her more. But Finger's character, what's her name? Sarah. She's kind of like she's kind of normal. She knows that what's going on. Of course, she's like becomes the odd one out of all the group. And the first things are fine. Everything, you know, they're having like fun. They're doing these powers where they pick up the other girl and they pick up like they're using powers. Everything's just fine, but then things go a bit more sinister later on. But one of the characters getting killed because of the spell that they do on him, of course. So yeah, because before the guy who likes the girl, the guy from Scream? He kind of like a bit of a douchebag at first, really not a nice. No, first of all he's fine, then he becomes a bit douchebag, then he has a spell on him, and he starts falling in love with her and get more obsessed, and he tries to rape her, of course. And of course, then something happens later on in the film where, you know, so it happens, you know, he gets killed, and you think to yourself, that's yeah, oh, it's 96 now, crazy 96. Some of the effects that are going, and I like the ending part where they're trying to scare Finger's character Sarah by they even tried to freaking say that her parents died in a plane crash, and of course it's a bit of a sick little joke what they do, trying to make him kill herself. Of course they go a bit over the top. So yeah, it's a good film. I do like this film. I see it quite a few times now. I saw it like a few years ago, quite a while back now. Watched it again. Really good film. It's got a bit of fondness to it. It's a fun movie. I've said it's a very fun movie. Great looking ladies in it. It's got the girl. The girl who plays Sarah, who was actually on Prison Break. She was on that the first season. And the girl plays the crazy one. Remember the crazy one in this film? She was on Return to Oz. That little girl. The black girl, I'm not so sure about. I'm not sure what she was on. I do recognise the faces though, some of them. So yeah, they got, you know, so that two of the actors and actresses. I like saying actors and actresses were actually on screen together, which is cool. Same year actually, 96, which is weird. So yeah, really liked it though. Good special effects and good, you know, some really fun moments in the film with like doing spells and stuff, and yeah, I mean the ladies are great, you know. Some like easy on there. So yeah, so what I disliked about it. I can't think of anything I disliked about this film. It's like another film that I just enjoy. You can't. There's nothing really I disliked about it. So there's like another girl in it who her hair keeps. No, it's blonde girl. She's really attractive. I've seen her quite a few films. Really attractive blonde. I think she was in like Night of the Demons 2. The blonde girl who makes out of the other girl in the film. You know, really interesting scene. And her hair starts falling out. Did a spell on her hair starts falling out, and then she becomes like starts to like apologise more, like, you know, how are you doing and stuff like, you know. She kind of fixes her in a way. Well, she's not. She's quite racist at the beginning, and she starts to lose this. It kind of changes her way. And the part where they get money, they go with the loudmouth one who's on freaking Return to. She has a, you know, they get money from this guy. The stepfather dies, and the next one they get all this freaking money. And it's a funny scene because they're like, you think the morning, and the next minute we got all this freaking money. So yeah, it's a good film though. I really enjoyed it. It's just great, you know. Just great enough. Good effects, some quite, you know, funny moments in it. And it's a fun movie. It's a really enjoy. I'm looking forward to watching the second one, Legacy one, which I'll review that afters. And I'll put the things together so you got both review. Best of both worlds, I'll say. Yeah. So the way I'm going to give us The Craft, the original 1996 film, is a 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed it. So 4 out of 5 to The Craft. Really enjoyed it. Thumbs up for that. The second review is Legacy, Craft Legacy. This is a 2020 film that I've just watched. I enjoyed it, by the way. Flawed as heck, but I enjoyed it. So the film is set place after the original movie, which I just watched last night. Really enjoyed it. So it's a sequel to the 1996 Craft. The cast is starring Kaylee Spaney, whatever you pronounce that. Kaylee Spaney, whatever. Kaylee, Gideon Alden, Adlon, whatever. Lovey Simon, Zoe Luna, Nicholas Galanzi, Michelle Monaghan, and David Duchovny. Dave Duchovny from the X-Files, of course. Now, the original one, of course, pops up in this from the other film, but she's not in it for long, so spoiler there straight away. Directed by, who else directed by? Zoe Lister Jones, Budget of 18. Oh boy. Okay, 18 million and a box office of 2.3 million. So it didn't really do that well. So yeah, the film was good though. I enjoyed it, but it had its faults. The ending part was a little bit, you know, the finale, the battle at the end was a bit not as good as the original one. I'm sitting there going, okay, that was a bit kind of weak, the ending part. Found that, but I enjoyed it. So anyway, the film begins with three girls, Frankie, Tabby, and Lourdes, trying to freeze time with magic, but fail to do so as they require a fourth member. Lily Schmeitzer moves into the town with her therapist mother, Helen, to live with Helen's new boyfriend, Adam Harrison, and his three sons, Jace, Jacob, Izia, and Abe. The girls' guild befriends Lily as she has periods in class, is mocked by her other classmates, particularly by the school bully Timmy Andrew. Oh, of course, they actually do a spell on him, which actually becomes a nicer guy later on. He pushes Timmy into the lockers using special powers, of course. When Lily responds to them by using her own mind, the girls confirm her to be their fourth member and invite her to join their coven, in which she agrees. As a result, they succeed in freezing time. So anyway, they seek revenge on Timmy. The girls cast a spell on him, of course. Says in there. And of course, it's quite funny actually, because he becomes a nicer guy. And I like one of the girls when this is, I quite like the woker version of him. I thought it was funny actually when they said that. But I enjoyed the movie. The film's flawed as hell, but it does have there are creepy moments in it, and I like the bit of the humour's pretty good in it. I suppose it's a film they didn't really need to make a sequel to, because the original one is really good. It's kind of cult classic now. But I enjoyed it. I thought they did a good job with this film. There's moments that the effects look pretty not the best, but you know, it is what it is. And but yeah. So anyway, when they do a spell on Timmy, of course, he becomes more nicer, and of course something happens later on in the film. Actually, there's an interesting part where they go in. It's like she's doing something. Let's just say she starts to like this guy, Timmy guy, and she starts. She does something with his coat. Let's just say that. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Hopefully the coat is rainproof. Let's just say that rainproof coat. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's not as good as the original one, but I enjoyed it. And David Duchovny plays he seems alright at first, and then his character's changed, and then there's a bit of a twist who he is. And the effects, some of the effects are okay. I don't know. I was sitting there going, the effects look really. Some of the effects look so like, you know, I've seen better special effects in certain films that, you know, did go to the cinema. But I'm sitting there going, some of the performances are good though. I did like some of the performances in the story. Some of the story is pretty good. I enjoy. Like I said, it's an enjoyable movie. I don't think it needed a sequel, but I enjoyed it. The original one didn't really need a sequel, and the original actress who was in the original one, she just turned up. She looks different anyway. She looks different from 1996 to now. She was in Blade freaking Trinity, which is cool. But she was in the original. She was in that Return to Oz film, which I really enjoyed. Gosh, she looks really young in that. So anyway, like I said, the film was enjoyable. There are some funny moments in it. The kid, one of the son is like doing something on his laptop, and she walks in. And he's doing stuff on his laptop. Let's just say that. That scene was funny. That scene was quite awkward. She walks in, he's like doing something. Let's just say he's doing something. What you do when you go on your laptop sometimes. And David Duchovny's character is a bit, yeah, he seems like alright at first, sense of humour and stuff, and then he starts to change later on. Then there's a bit of a twist who he is. He's got this like strictness about his character, and you can tell by his sons, because his sons like are quiet when she first goes into the house. They're acting like all quiet. They'll kind of come to, like something's going off, and then they start, you know, whatever. So they do some practical, you know. The film is funny. They do. I like the fact they freeze time. Certain parts they do freeze time. The freeze, you know. Some of the effects in those situations are good. I like that. The film is connected to that original film, and like I said, I really enjoyed it. There does have some creepy moments in the part where she's in bed and see a shot, this dark figure standing in the room. and it turns out to be someone else. So it's like creeper moments. I don't think to myself, that's creeper. And like I said, our characters kept to do the characters from the original movie. One of the characters in the original movie. So yeah, like I said, it's a good movie. It's not like, oh my god, this film is amazing, best sequel ever. It's definitely not. But yeah, it's a kind of film that didn't really need a sequel. Kind of like what film did I watch? Why did it? Backdraft. It's not as bad as that, the Backdraft 2 sequel, because I think that was just wow. Sometimes it could be whatever. So anyway, so what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, some of the effects looked dodgy. And I kind of thought, what was the point of kind of doing a sequel to a film that didn't really need a sequel, but whatever. So I didn't really mind it though. I didn't really mind it. I thought to myself, you know what, I'll buy it. See what it's like. And it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's got some good sense of humour. So yeah, like I said, the effects are dodgy, some of the, you know, whatever. And the ending part, I didn't really was keen on the battle at the end. I thought it was a little bit, yeah, some of the effects looked a bit, you know, whatever. So it was a bit, I don't know, I can't explain it. You watch the original one, it had this really cool scene with the battle. And, you know, certain scenes, you know, the snakes and the special, you know, looked really cool. And the atmosphere and everything looked really cool. But this one just didn't really have that. It didn't really have that coolness, you know, that memorable moment. But I don't know. So yeah, I thought the effects looked a bit dodgy too. Some of the effects looked a bit. So yeah, so the rating I'm going to give this film is probably, I say 3.5 out of 5. I still liked it. So 3.5 out of 5 for The Croft Legacy. I want to give it a 3, but I thought to myself, you know, I liked it. You know, I still enjoyed it. So I think 3 is still a good rating, but 3.5, I think, yeah, I give it a 3.5 rating. Didn't really need a sequel, but I still enjoyed it. So 3.5 out of 5 for Legacy, The Craft. So anyway, people, that's my review of 2 films. The first one I got a 4 out of 5. The second one gets a 3.5 out of 5. So anyway, people, I'm going to go off now. Remember to subscribe to the channel. If you don't, I will put a crafty spell on you. Ha! No pun intended. And I'm going to go off now. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Have a nice day. Retribution Prime. Remember to have a nice day. Have a nice week. Take care. Look at yourself and enjoy the review. Thank you very much.